Welcome to Sib Spot. Today's stories are from Malicious Compliance. Story 1 is by Interesting Cake 691, and it's a short one, but it's a good one. Inflexible employer only giving me 25 cents per kilometer traveled in my personal vehicle. Infinite fuel cheat activated. I used to work as a computer technician. My employer was very stubborn during the hiring process and clearly said that I would be using my own vehicle and would be paid no more than 25 cents for each kilometer traveled. Well now, I didn't argue with him at all. I said that's a fair price and I'm eager to start. What he didn't know is that I had a moped and that I carried all my tools in my backpack. 25 cents per kilometer traveled would not only cover my work cost, but all of my personal costs too. I went on a lot of mountain drives on the employer's wallet. Speaking of which, I was surprised how pleasant life is when you have infinite kinetic energy. Down in the comments we have this gem by Creative Plankton. I have a guy on my team that drives a scooter to his work sites. We pay whatever the IRS says for employee-driven vehicles. I'm guessing the scooter costs a couple $100 and gets 50 plus miles per gallon, and you know what? I could not care less. All I care about is that he gets to where he needs to be in a timely manner. One of his teammates complained to me, and all I had to say was, well, go buy your own scooter. They're extremely fuel efficient. All I can think of when I think moped or scooter is Dumb and Dumber. And I guess I'm showing my age here because that's quite an old movie, but it's a good one. Our next story is by Superb Raccoon. Take my ID and tell me what the F are you going to do about it? Okay. This story got quite a few awards from users for being so great, and it got 19.8 thousand upvotes when I screenshot it. So when I was a wee superb raccoon, but still superb, I was in the Navy. Recently 21, we decided to go to a bar that had a decent local cover band. So we show up and I present my ID. Grant you, clean cut and close shaved, I did not look 21, but my out-of-state ID was no good and all I had was my military ID. Doorman decides he can mess with me. This is fake. I am keeping it. My eyes bugged out. Dude, that's a military ID. Give it back. Nope, mine now. $20 or F off. I can't get back on base without it, I said. Then you better cough up $20 or F off. Oh, I see. This is a shakedown. F me, huh? Okay. Cue Malicious Compliance. Buddy who drove and used state ID drove us back and we go into the officer of the day's office to report my lost/stolen ID. OOD is a crusty old guy, but fair. Actually a Mustang. He takes orders from the president and God. And we're not sure of the president. He might tell him to F off if it's a stupid idea. He listens. My buddy backs my story. His eyes narrow in an evil, evil way. Chief, can you come up here? I got a present for you. I started to shake a little. Am I headed for a few days in the break for losing my ID? There goes any chance of a bump to an E4. Seaman Raccoon here says the doorman at Joe's took his ID and wants $20. Pull a driver on one of those jarheads at the gate and go down there and sort it out. The chief looks at me like fresh meat. Come on, you two, we're going for a ride. So we all pile in the van with a couple of Marines in BDU and sidearms. It is quiet on the way there. Chief doesn't look too happy. Can't believe I gotta deal with this crap. Well, at least I don't have to sit at the desk all night. So we roll up. Place is pretty packed. Doorman doesn't look so tough as Chief stalks up to him like a storm cloud spitting lightning and 2 armed Marines flanking him. I'm hanging back. Raccoon! Is this your guy with the ID? Yes, Chief. Chief gets up toe-to-toe with him. Chief is short and wide, but built like a brick wall. Jim Muscle Doorman takes a step back, but dude has nowhere to go in the little entranceway. Give me his ID now, or I will start looking for it myself. ID is produced. Handed to me. Doorman ignored. Chief pulls the door open and looks at the room, motions for the Marines to make a hole to the bar, make it wide. They do so, calmly shouting to move people out of the way as the music and talk dies down. Chief grabs a chair, stands on it, and then uses his parade ground voice. All active duty military, this site is now on the prohibited list. Pay your tab and get out. He gets down, walks out with Marines tailing him, and half the bar follows them out. Very few are active duty this far from base, but many are reserves or retired. They don't like crap like this either. Place went on the list and was still there when I transferred out 6 months or so later. Yep, I effed off. Hard and fast. Militaries actually have a list of places that you can't go? The list? That's pretty epic. I mean, if one of your employees messes with somebody that badly who's just trying to go to a bar, and you have to go get an officer or some higher up to deal with it, they're not going to be happy. It's a waste of their time and energy and manpower. So I'd say it's fair, but that place is probably going to go under due to it. Our next story is by Once Was a Worker. Won't talk to me? Don't worry, I will talk to HR. So I used to be a union delegate for a large firm with multiple sites. We had a Karen of a manager who was appointed by her uncle, a director of the firm, to her role. She wasn't very bright and told me once that 40 was half of 100. I have written on the subreddit before about her. Where I work, we get 4 weeks annual leave, 2 weeks sick leave, and 2 days bereavement leave a year. All this is accumulating too, so if you don't use it up, it builds up. So one of my union members, Max, goes to Karen and asks for bereavement leave, and she refuses as Max has no proof his grandmother has died. She also quotes part of our employment contract that states managers can ask for proof of death for bereavement leave. Max explains he's from a culture where funerals are very important, but Karen refuses him still. He tries to explain that it's not just the grieving process, but the actual cultural event for social reason also. Max is flabbergasted and comes to me. Our contract actually states proof is required if the employee has a poor leave record. It also states, without a poor leave record, bereavement leave cannot be refused. Max has worked for the firm for 5 years without a single day off besides annual leave. I approach Karen about it and she says she won't talk to me about it and I'm wrong. She tells me to take it above her if I have a problem, but she is right. By sheer coincidence, it's a quarterly union meeting with executives later that day, and as per Karen's instructions, I take it above her. Max is also from an ethnic and cultural minority. Come the meeting, I explain the situation to everyone present, including Max's ethnic and cultural background. I ask 4 questions. 1. Why are you breaking employee contract and are you prepared to go to court? As we are. 2. Why is the firm being culturally insensitive? 3. Why is the firm being racist by denying someone's ethnic and cultural beliefs? 4. Where is the general compassion from the firm? There was stone-cold silence for a good 2 minutes. The head of HR offered his apologies, told me the leave would be granted. He would personally ring Max and grant him leave and an apology. Karen got blasted by multiple senior managers. Karen would have been sacked, but her uncle, the director of the firm, stopped this. Every manager on my work site the following week spent 3 days training in employee rights, racial and cultural sensitivity, and compassion in the workplace. They also got told the training was because of Karen's actions, which alienated her from the management group. Max got a full week off with pay without needing to use his bereavement leave. If you're part of a union, generally they will stand up for you. Some unions are crap. Some unions are not ran well. Some unions have bad presidents. But it's always good to have some people out there that will have your back. But if you're a representative of the union, nobody wants to volunteer for that because all you got to do is listen to people's sob stories. And sometimes they're justified and sometimes they're not. You're not permitted to talk about any of the grievances people would have with the union. Otherwise, I'd share some of the stories that I have. I used to be a union rep. I also ran my union's entire election campaign, and that was not fun because people thought that I rigged it in favor of somebody merely because I handled the entire thing. There was 2 of us who volunteered to do this, and I ran it by the book. But because I didn't use social media to inform everybody, people were in an uproar about that. The manual itself tells you that you have to print pamphlets out and put them in all the buildings, and you have to inform the building representatives, and that's what I did. But people didn't spread the word enough, and I barely had anybody come to vote, and I was running it by myself because the other person appointed was out for surgery for months. So it was not fun. I would never do it again. And there's nothing you can do to make people like that happy or to prove to them that you did exactly what you were supposed to do. There's nothing you can do. I got contacted by the head of the union who said that they'd lodged a formal complaint, and then I wrote back my reply to them and never heard another word about it, honestly. Would never, ever volunteer to be a union rep or head of the election process ever again. Our stories have come to a close for today. If you enjoy this content, please click like or subscribe or leave a comment below. Each of these things helps my channel and the YouTube algorithm. Or you can click the little notification bell that will give you alerts when a video drops. I'm pretty sure at least one of you has those enabled. Somebody is on top of my video drops. They leave a comment every single time. You are amazing. Thank you so much. Until we meet again, have a remarkable day.